June 21st. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Right hand over your heart. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you
A quorum is present.
and open the successor agency and the Housing Authority?
Sure, a quorum is present.
Any persons wishing to address City Council, successor agency, Housing Authority, and call the Finance Authority in session may do so at this time. Madam Clerk, can we open the Finance Authority as well?
A quorum is present.
Good afternoon. Roy Fisher, the First District. A few things I'd like to speak of to begin with regard to funding for our police. I see that we have a lot of funds coming in from the government and other agencies. As I have said to you all before, I would like to see some of these monies finally going to cameras for the officers. It would be of benefit to them and to this community in which we live. You know, you have all these monies, and I would like to see the chief maybe consider starting to put cameras on our officers. The other thing I would like to talk about is this C1I, I believe it is. It has to do with naming of public places. And this ordinance that we have in place, which is Ordinance 1604, which you then have put in place with regard to naming of public places, it supposedly states that each of you council people, are to name a committee member for naming of those places. But here in the Inglewood Today paper, I read that you have decided to name the Inglewood Playhouse after Willie Agee. I say, how could you ever consider naming anything after such an individual? An individual who disrespects our Congresswoman, Maxine Waters, in community meetings, an individual who was against the naming of Vincent Park after Ed Vinson, an individual who constantly disrespects residents of this community by name-calling, calling people naysayers simply because, you know, in other names, simply because we disagree or we might disagree with whatever. It's really unconscionable, again, to me, for you, them, to even consider that. But if you're going to do that, you know, and I suppose that you will in the end, but you ought to do it in the manner that it is proposed. And that is, as I said, that you should each have a committee member, and you should be talking about, or those members should be talking about, you know, that particular individual. So I would hope that you would consider those things. I would like to say, too, with regard to item...
Actually, you'll have to say it later because you're at time.
Thank you.
The mayor,
Welcome,
other
Mr.
members
Harris.
of the council, how you doing? And to the staff, citizens of Inglewood. I'm here to support the naming of that facility to Willie Agee. That's Council Initiative 1. To the group, my name is Henry Harris. I reside in Council District 2 for about 27 years now. I've spent 5 years in Council District 4 before that. I appreciate this city, really love this city, and I've watched these council meetings all the time on TV and on YouTube. The thing that I've observed when we were in our darkest depths, but there was one person who would always come through here, and put a positive spin on things so that citizens can believe again, so that citizens can visualize. I give my vote to changing that facility, that playhouse, to Willie AG, because we live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Thank you.
Good afternoon, council members. I'm going to start with agreeing that we should have police cameras on the officers, and that way maybe we wouldn't be paying out quite so much in those lawsuits that we continually end up paying out big-time bucks, and maybe everybody would be a little bit more aware of what's going on when we do encounter officer-involved incidences, whether they are homicides or the other types of situations. But I don't think that's going to happen. I am also very concerned that we're going to drop $80,000 more or less up to, hopefully it starts out less than that, for a media person. You know, I don't care how much happy face you do. When bad things happen, and you ought to acknowledge that they happen rather than pretend that they didn't. Of course, this whole farce of CI1, initiative by the mayor recommending the adoption of a resolution renaming the Inglewood Playhouse located at Ed Vincent Jr. Park the Willie A.G. Playhouse. You know what the joke of this is? You already freaking did it. Putting it on the agenda after you did it is the definition of hypocrisy. Whether or not it was worthy or not worthy, you chose that the people of this community don't have a say in a public meeting to discuss it. How pathetic is that? You don't have the confidence that there would be support? How sad. Because you know what? The ordinance did claim a lot of different things were required. You should have had the confidence to come here and say, this is how it is fulfilled. But you didn't. You already did it. Signs there, press was had, party, the whole bit. At some point, the people of this community will realize you don't give a rip what they think.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
My name is Willie A.G., and I live in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Someone spoke about Congressman Maxine Waters. 2 years ago, she gave me a birthday party. That speaks for everything.
Inglewood family, I'm Wild Bill Widener, and I just want to back up on those police cameras things because last night we had our 74th anniversary meeting for Alcoholics Anonymous on North Market Street, and brought the thought back about what happened with Tony Curl downstairs, which was our coffee maker at the time. And he flipped out or whatever he did, or relapsed, and ended up getting shot to death. And I heard that someone was kicking on his corpse and all that. And see, those are only stories that we hear. We don't know what happened down there, other than what we're told. That's one reason, just one reason, that we need cameras on police officers, so we know if those stories are true or not. And so keep, you keep hearing that all the time from us guys. Get them cameras on the police officers. And I don't think it'll hurt them any. In fact, it might save us some money on lawsuits. You never know.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council, and staff. Ronald Davis, 2nd District. I want to piggyback on what was just said. I'm of the attitude that our police officers' job ultimately is to go home at the end of their shift. And whatever tools we can put in place, see to it that they do that, then that's what I'm for. So I know that everybody will cross their T's and dot their I's. If cameras are a help, absolutely. Because let's just go out and say it. it seems as though the predominant attitude is that it's always a victim and it's not the police. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see when cameras show that, no, this person was wrong. And I think that the upside is, I think people, once they know they're on candid camera, they won't act quite the fool that they are. And with my last minute and 48 second, as you guys may or may not know, I'm a lover of history. Well, Mr. Agee, you now have been committed to history in a sense. Your name is on a building. The intention is that it's going to be there long after you are gone. Hope that you make it worthy that your name's on that building. You'll have the rest of your life to live. You've lived it up to this point. And with that, no matter how long the mayor and the council sits here, I would hope that, you know, over time, you will be prudent, because there's going to be a lot of buildings built in this town, and somebody's going to be looking for a name to put on them. Let's remember the length and breadth of this city's history so we can show the world where we started, who we started with, and how we evolved over the decades, past 100 years. I mean, first I wanted Stevie Wonder's name to be on that station down there. But I said, no, he can have a street because there was some reason why we couldn't do it. But I know Daniel Freeman's name should be somewhere prominent. They tore down the hospital. That happens. But we need to put his name somewhere, and then we can, hey, Mayor Butts, depends on how it rolls, there will be a building with your name on it someday, if it rolls that way.
We can only dream.
Hey, that's how things start. I'll be praying for you.
Thank you very much. With that, we'll close public comment. Item 1, CSA 1 and H1.
Warrant register.
Move allow payment of the bills.
Madam Clerk.
Council and agency members, Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales. Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye. Consent calendar items 2 through 8, and just one quick question. Well, I see it's accept citizens' option for public safety, so it's an approval to accept the grant funds. Okay, I move items 2 through 8, consent calendar. Madam Clerk, that was Morales and
Okay.
Dodson.
Council members, Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales. Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. 01.
Staff report recommending the introduction of a revised salary ordinance for the fiscal year 2015-16.
Second.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales. Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
I introduce.
Introduce, okay, thank you.
A1.
Thank you, Mayor. We had a closed session regarding anticipated litigation from a claimant, Demarie Smith, regarding an auto accident with an Inglewood police officer. There's a motion to request settlement authority to the city attorney up to the amount of $12,000.
Madam Clerk.
Council members Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales. Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye.
And there's no reports from the city attorney's office.
There's no reports from the city manager's office.
Just in time for that breaking news. CT1, CSA2, H2, and F1.
Monthly treasurer's report for the month ending April 30th, 2016.
Receive and file, CT2.
I didn't get my turn.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Well, I was saving you for last, but CC1.
Thank you. I just wanted to report out that on Saturday, I attended the community center, the grand opening, and it was a huge success. But the success was not just because the people came. The real success was that the council made it happen. and it stayed there ugly for so many years. And now it's so beautiful, and it's really, really, I mean, that's a huge success. So congratulations to all of you guys. Councilman Padilla is in your District 2. Woo! But, and then I just wanted to also report out that I had my women's conference this past Thursday. And gentlemen, you guys got to show up next time. We won't get you guys too bad. And more men are starting to show up. So it was a few hundred this time in men, but mainly girls rule. So it's okay though. But it was a huge success, and we enjoyed ourselves. And that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
CT1, Madam City Treasurer.
'16,
Mike,
and,
is it on? Your mic?
Because we want to hear you.
oh yes, let me start all over. As- Thank you, Councilman Padilla.
Very
Appreciate that. The Treasury Report as of April the 30th, 2016. And for the City of Inglewood, we have $86,814,142 under management. And the agency, $99,960,687. And the debt service interest earnings is $14,177. Housing Authority, $101,234. And Public Finance Authority, $13,528,581. And again, the report is on the table there for your review. It's a very excellent report, about 9 pages in length, and with nice graphs. Total funds under investment is $200,404,644. And that's as of April the 30th. And also, just to give you the current bonds that have been managed, that I've invested at May 31st, 2016 is $33,659,889. And the total CDs is $2,500,000. Total is $36,159,889. And I also bought an excellent CD today, the Mercantile Bank, for $250,000. I can invest in a maximum of $250,000 because they are FDIC insured, as long as they have a different FDIC number. And again, that was an excellent bond. It's at 1.65 coupon. And also, I'd like to also congratulate Councilman Padilla and the council regarding the dedication of the community center. Very nice, and I really like the color that it has. Very, very nice. Congratulations. And also on the gasoline station there on La Brea, that was also vacant for the last 2 decades. Congratulations on that also, Councilman Padilla. A long time coming. And also, I want to congratulate the city clerk on just an excellent conference. I'm usually out of town, but I did attend it today, last week. Well attended, just a wealth of information, and it was mostly women, but it was just an excellent event. You certainly ought to be commended for that, as long as your dear husband. Very well done. Thank you. That concludes my comments and my remarks.
Thank you, Madam City Treasurer. CI1, excuse me.
Located at Edward Vincent Park Jr. The Willie A.G. Playhouse pursuant to ordinance number 16-04. Council members Dodson, Padilla,
Aye.
Morales, Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Aye. If I could just say just a word, though, about the naming. The naming of facilities or buildings is a very serious statement about someone's contribution to their community. And on May 19th, the City Council adopted an ordinance, and it was number 16-04, and it updated the policies and procedures for naming city facilities. Mr. Agee is a 40-year veteran of the City of Inglewood, as well as a veteran of the United States Armed Forces, having served in the Korean War. He's been a very active member of the Inglewood community and served more than 15 years on the Parks and Recreation Commission, on the Library Service Commission, and he is currently the chairperson. He unselfishly gives of himself, and his commitment and dedication to our city has improved the quality of life in Inglewood. Mr. Hank Harris made a very important notation that this city has seen highs and lows, and it saw an extraordinary long low period. And during that low period, we had several in our community that seemed to relish the pain and misery and actually amplify it with different statements that really weren't true. But Mr. AG came every week, tried to see the best and the progress. And that was important to the community. And you don't know how many people I've talked to that have mentioned that when so many wanted to cry and magnify misery, he lit a candle in the darkness. And I think it's extremely appropriate that this playhouse that was resurrected at virtually no cost to the city exemplifies the faith of belief and support. And I'm very proud to have this council officially today rename the Playhouse the Willie Agee Inglewood Playhouse. Any persons wishing to address City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time.
I appreciate that we got funding for our streets. I hope the First District sidewalks can be repaired and made handicapped access with some of those monies. I would also say to you these council meetings you supposedly are televised. They're not televised. I'll say also to you, that you're having meetings as you did on Election Day, which you usually do not do, and you didn't allow the community to know about that. So I would expect that, like always, you do what you want to do, just like you have this evening. I think that your procedures were wrong, but go forward and do what you do.
Okay, Madam Clerk, could you want to address that issue of the election?
We don't have meetings when we conduct the elections, but when the county conducts it, we do have elections.
And always have.
And always have.
And we posted and made the notification the same as we always do.
That's correct.
Thank you. There you go.
Veronica Mackey. Just want to give a shout out to Clerk Horton for the wonderful conference that you gave on Thursday. I was one of the speakers there talking to women about reviving their careers. I also had an opportunity to sit in on one of these sessions about branding yourself, which I learned a lot, about myself as a small business owner. So if you missed it, ladies and men, please try and come next year. You're going to be inspired.
Thank you. Board, welcome.
Council and Mayor, well, you selected the best of the best for this playhouse, and I wanted to say that, and congratulations to you citywide and wherever this streams live. You have the best of the best man here, and my dad helped him many years ago with Parks and Recreation, and he is no longer able to do so. But AG, you have selected a man that has really been an asset to this city for many, 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 many years. And we all saw how those parks and the recreations looked, and he has made a tremendous overhaul in working with this city government, the prior city government, in making sure that we have the best of the best. that represents the best of this city. And thank you for blessing him with that playhouse because he deserves it. Thank you.
I want to thank the council and staff and everybody that was involved in this renaming the Playhouse. What's important to me is what is going to be done for these little kids here in the city of Inglewood. That's, you know, I just love this city. I love the people that's running this city, and you know, I think about these kids all the time. They've been neglected so long. And because of this council and staff and stuff, buddy, let me tell you, these kids in this city now got a future, and that's no joke. And I want to appreciate what you did for me. It's going to outlive me, you know, but
That's the point.
absolutely. Thank you very much.
My name is still Diane Sombrano, no matter what anyone says over here. And I'm going to say that once again, a procedure should have been followed. And you chose not to do that. And that will outlive anything else that you come up with. And I would hope at some time you realize that this community is not just those who praise you. This community extends much greater than those who always seek to praise you. You see, there were times that things needed to be pointed out. For 20 years, we did not have bathroom stall doors under someone's watch. Actually, 2 people have been on the Park and Recreation Commission for umpteen years, and it took 20 years to get bathroom stall doors. We still don't have a soccer field that functions. So as you go out and you give accolades, I know one of the ones you will always give is that you will continually bash and disagree with anyone who does not praise you. And that's unfortunate because everywhere you go, people learn from the diversity of opinion, not just only those who praise themselves.
That will close public comment, and we'll have council comments. Councilman Dodson.
I'm sorry? Okay. Irregardless of what anybody has said or will say, this man was the person that got me inspired in these parks. He's the only man I know, except Mayor Butts, that work on Sunday. He comes to get me on Sunday so we can ride these parks to see what needs to be done in it. I don't know anybody that loves anything that much. So when you say anything about the name, of it couldn't have been named after anyone else. We made the best choice. And it's not because he comes up here and praises us. It's because the work he put in before he ever comes up here to praise us. And I know if you work in these parks, you have seen him sometime daily, trying to find out what he can do or what needs to be done in these parks. So I appreciate him because I have 2 big parks in my district, and he helps me out a lot with that. So I am proud to be one of the named park after the playhouse after Mr. Agee. The other thing I'd like to say is Councilman Medea. Wonderful event, great job by you and your staff for the District 2 Center. It was very well done, excellent job. I enjoyed myself. The other thing is I want you to, I don't know if you can see it on TV, but this is a beautiful flyer, and it's in English and Spanish, and it tells you to come out on July the 16th at Edward Benson Park, where the Playhouse is, and bring your picnic basket and your blanket and enjoy the District 1 Family Day in the park. Now, there's going to be entertainment. We're going to have the Inglewood Police Department out there. We're going to have the fire department out there. And we're going to have you out there. So come on out, enjoy yourselves, and save the date, July 16th. Be from 12 to 6. Thank you very much. And onward and upward, City of Inglewood. Thank you very much.
Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of things. One is last week, council and staff had an opportunity to attend the Rotary Club's Police and Fire Appreciation Luncheon. And so I want to thank the Rotarians for recognizing our police and firefighters and for the work they do every day, putting their life on the line. And I appreciate that. They protect us 24/7. So my hat's off to all our public safety personnel. You know, this past Saturday we did the grand opening of the District 2 Community Center. But to do something like that, you know, you don't do it alone. It takes a team. And I want to thank my assistant, Ramon Quinones, for helping put that together. But I also want to thank our city manager, Artie Fields, assistant city managers, David Esparza, Michael Falco, Sabrina Barnes. Sabrina was here a little while ago. Teresa Estrada from Parks and Recs. Chris Jackson, who's back there, and Louis Atwell. Thank you so much for everything that you did to help make the event a success, and also to Matt Chambers, who put together the shows and got our screens working over there at the community center. I really appreciate that. But above all, I want to thank the community because it was the community that supported us, and in sitting and talking to community members, whether it was on their front yards or sitting down in their living room to listen to their thoughts and their ideas about the community center and what it would have to offer to the residents of Inglewood, not just District 2, but the residents of Inglewood. And then to be able to work together with Thrifty Oil Company, with Mark Berg and Barry Burkett, you know, many meetings that took place to get the community center to where it's at. So I encourage everybody to please stop by, visit the community center if you haven't already. It's at La Cienega and Fairview, and take a look and see what, you know, all the positive things that we're doing here in Inglewood. That's just one part of how we're continuing to make Inglewood the new city of champions. So with that, I want to thank the whole team and thank the community for coming out on Saturday and making that a successful event. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Councilman Franklin.
So let me echo the same sentiments as my colleagues before me with reference to the District 2 Community Center grand opening. As you've heard Councilman Padilla acknowledge, it took a lot of efforts, and particularly it took this council to be able to have a cohesive team effort, to be able to sit down with the oil company to say, we want to make this happen. And because we spoke the right language, had the positive language at the table, we was able to get positive results. And there was a staff that helped us execute that, and the community embraced us so it could become a reality. So thank everyone involved. I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate a longtime Parks and Recreation Commissioner. It's interesting, back in the days when I used to be the commissioner, he was there with me. And Willie Agee, I just want you to know that it's interesting when you really know the true heart of a man is your consistency. Even when the days when I was on the Parks and Recreation for over a decade, you were consistent, and we rode together, and we viewed the parks, and we made copious notes and reported back, and it was through that efforts that Parks and Recs gravitated it, got the funds for us that we needed to move forward, to the point as our current chair of Parks and Recs, he's still identified of needing a football field for the kids, as well as a professional, or I should say regulational size soccer field that's going to become a reality as we speak now, also at Ed Vincent Park. So again, your contributions to the community, we weigh the good. We weigh the good. of the man, and the man had the right spirit, the right heart, and it's an honor for us to be able to recognize you, and I want to congratulate you personally. In conclusion, Mayor, I also want to have you close the meeting in honor of another warrior that was in our city that fought the good fight of faith, but he has now gone home with the Lord, and that's Virgil Benson, our former council member of District 4 back in the 90s. And I appreciate you closing his honor.
I'd
Thank
be
you.
glad to do that, but one quick question. Did you ever get those bathroom doors installed in that park?
At last. At last.
Wasn't that like 5 or 6 years ago?
It was at least that.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
It was at least that.
All right. Councilman Morales.
Thank you. Start by just congratulating Councilman Padilla for just a great job on the reopening of the community center, just what it meant, getting that empty space, the blighted space of 17 years into what it became now today. It just shows his commitment to what he said during his campaign and what he said to the residents and what he feels as a resident. So that's a big deal all the way around, and just happy we were included. Next item, I want to spend some time talking about Mr. Willie Agee. So I didn't have the opportunity to go to the ceremony we had for you a few weeks back. I had a family commitment, as I do often with small children, but I wanted you to know that that was one that it hurt me to miss it. And I'll tell you, when I first got elected, you used to go off on me. We would go at it. But it was in a respectful way, and I'll tell you, we even got to the point where I told you, remember, I said, man, I'm going to get one of my uncles, you guys are going to wrestle, we're going to do a fundraiser, remember? And that way, we might still do that, because I could make some money like that for the kids. But look, we talked about how you're supposed to name a building. Some folks said for folks who are always just positive and saying positive things. Well, it wasn't like that. What happened was, when you would voice your opinion, you voiced it how you felt it. And when Inglewood started to change, you started to change. And that's the sign of a really sincere person. That's the sign of a person who cares. My dad ran a soccer league for many years, still does. At a time when there was maybe 300-400 children, you used to say, hey, don't run on the football field, the cleats mess it up. I get that. That makes sense to me. You went at it back then. It didn't matter who it was. You were watching out for the parks. And to me, that sincerity about saying what you feel, that's what makes it a privilege to vote to name it the Willie Agee Playhouse, because it's easy to look back in time, and in history books, everybody looks perfect. Everybody looks perfect. But to know the man, and I'll even go beyond, I wasn't here when they named the Ed Vincent Park, who Ed Vincent was a friend of mine, but I was here when they tried to take it away. And, I got to voice that I wasn't never going to support it. And the thing about it is that I think it's a privilege that we here get to know the person that we're naming it after, with everything we went through with them during the good and bad. So with that, I just wanted to say congratulations, and I'm very proud to have voted for you to get the Playhouse named after you. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to extend my earlier remarks because, there's been an evolution in the city. I would have to tell you that when I got on the council, council meetings were not pleasant at all, because people had reason to be very cynical, because the city was in terrible condition, terrible financial condition. The infrastructure was neglected. The streets were bad. We were having sinkholes probably every other month. There was good reason to be cynical. But then, there was a change in the council and a sincerity. And what I appreciated of the people that paid attention, and I count Ms. Ford. Ms. Ford had great cynical things to say, and she was right originally. But when the council manifested the will, turn the city around, and do the things that ultimately brought us more prosperity than probably any city in this country in a short period of time, there were people that acknowledged it. And then there are people that still talk about bathroom doors that were fixed 5 years ago. when we have the Super Bowl coming in 2021. The Rams here in 2019. Probably the Raiders or the Chargers here in 2018. We likely will be the site for the opening ceremonies of the 2024 Olympic Games. We're working on having a Final Four held here in Inglewood. And that's what I mean by sincerity. We have people talking about things that were fixed 5 years ago as though that's some validation to continue to be critical. I don't agree with that. I am so proud of what this city and council has done. I look at Ms. Horton. She's a city clerk, but she holds a conference on empowering women every year. Every year. It's such a great reflection on the city, and has been even during our dark times, that we were more than just day to day. Our city treasurer, she has informed the community steadily for the 5 years I've been on the council on what we do as we invest our money, given information on the state of this economy and where we fit in. And during the dark times, she gave the bad news, and during the bright times, she gave the good news. So this isn't about the people that agree with us. This is about people that have some objective basis of reality that can support something that is going well. And for those that haven't figured it out, things are going very well in the city of Inglewood. We have national and international recognition at this time. And I want to acknowledge the contributions that Virgil Benson made to the city in his time as a District 4 councilman, and we're going to close the meeting in his honor. And we're adjourned. At the end,